Well, it's a national day today, and I'm just going to use a hand signal. You know what that is? It's actually American Sign Language. I hope I did that right. I hope I didn't say anything bad, but I think it's American Sign Language for radio. And I had a friend years ago who gave me my name, which is Tony, but somebody who is deaf can give you your name. And so he gave me T and radio, and that became my name. So if we ever meet in American Sign Language, that's my name, which is better than this, which is boring. And I'm boring too. But anyway, let's jump into the markets. They're not boring. We're rallying. Look at this. We're up 6 1/4 cents, 504 1/4 on the December. Are we feeding something right now when it comes to the corn market? What about the bean market? You look at where we've been with the bean market here over the last 4 sessions. We've been higher. We're just 1/4 cent higher right now at 1237.5. But we're trading in a dime trade range. Let's see what happens here throughout the day. Through the complex here, this is soy meal contracts moving higher for day number 5, and bean oil. Every contract with the 70 in front of it, they're all higher. Second straight session. We did have a flash sale. Unknown destinations, 5.5 million bushels. Here's the wheat market. And September wheat up 8 3/4, 689 a bushel. The July up 7 1/4, 728.5. Here's hard red. It's trading up 7 1/4, 769 1/4. And the July at 794 3/4. It's a nickel higher. And finally, the cotton market rallying as well. We've got 92-cent cotton out on that May. The December, though, at 89.28, up 93. Let's go to Dodge City. Brady Huck, EmpowerAg Trading. Brady, I don't know what your American Sign Language name would be, but anyway, happy National Radio Day.
Happy National Radio Day too, Tony, to you. So now, yeah, it's certainly got a nice day today and been a great week in your grain markets, though. We keep feeding the bulls here, Tony. Had a daily export flash this morning. Weekly exports were solid. Continuing to see this news just feeding the bulls. Energy markets are firmer. We've got 3-month lows in the U.S. dollar, just a lot of tailwinds feeding your grain markets right now. And we got a 5 in front of that D's corn contract. Everybody's been waiting for it. Maybe you had some order fill. Go check those open orders and see if anything filled there. Daily bullish fodder, though. Got a crop tour, and that continues to keep feeding the bulls as well as they kind of find some disappointing yield results out there. We have to keep in mind, though, with the Pro Farmer Tour, that historically that tour results typically they do come in below the USDA's August number and the final yield number. You look at the historical average, they're close on average, but tend to be a little bit below the USDA number overall. So be interesting to see once we get that final number here today. I think later this evening we get the Pro Farmer Tour number. It'll be interesting to see how the trade reacts going into the weekend, and if we can continue that momentum into next week, and will that we continue to feed that bull and get that daily news that keeps feeding the bull. We changed the narrative last week in the WASD, had some nice price action there. Corn's up about 40 cents, beans up about 70 cents, wheat's up about 60 cents. We've pivoted from trading a perfect crop in June to trading what appears to be a smaller crop, and a crop that looks to be getting smaller each day. So the market's rallied, reaching a pivotal point here. The question is, can we keep the bulls fed, and can we keep the bull rally going?
Well, and talking about feeding the bulls, how about what was a bull market in the cattle market? I think we've lost that bull market, and we'll come back and talk about it right around the corner. This is Market Day Report. Feeding the bulls. Well, let's talk cattle. And guess what? We're lower again. We're lower again. The August 222.67. It's down 75. And if you're just looking where cash is trading this week, it's still $2.50 from where we've been trading. Cash trading in the north 225. We trade at 222. Now, this will converge these two. The futures and our cash trade will not technically converge, but they'll be close at the end of the month. October is at 216, and it's down 60. Could that be leading the way for much lower cash trade next month and ahead? Feeders, August 225 lower, September 265 lower, 326.47. Brady Huck's with EmpowerAg Trading. We're not feeding any bulls here.
Cattle market's tough. It's tough to talk about right now. Love cattle. Wish we had a better market here to talk about. The rally in the choice cutout was certainly inspiring this week. Led to optimism that maybe we'd see some higher cash bids. But as we approach $4, choice cutout, it just didn't inspire. Did not result in higher cash bids so far. So unfortunately, in this business, the cattle business, when cattle are ready to go, they need to go. You can't put a finished steer in the closet. You can't wait out the buyer for better days and better bids. Lack of leverage is just the nature of the business due to a commodity that's got to go when they got to go.
All right, let's talk cattle on feed. We get that tomorrow. Any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, big report. Each month we get the cattle on feed numbers. Placements are seen falling 6% versus a year ago. Would be a record low placement number for the month of July. Slowdown in marketings could very well offset this decline in placements. We're looking for total on feed inventory to be 2.5% above year ago levels. Of that inventory, analysts will be looking to see how many cattle.
Well, see if we can get Brady back here as breaking down that cattle on feed report. Some of the numbers we're looking at, these come from Reuters. The on feed estimate 102.4, placements at 93.3, and our marketings at 92.8%. So those are the numbers we're looking at. I'm not real sure, but I think maybe Brady is in outer space.
Is it?
He's not really in Dodge City. We had a conversation earlier this week about ag and space, and the idea of how are we going to run cattle in space? Or how can we run cattle on the moon?
How would we, and why would we?
I mean, because think about it. If we're living on the moon and Mars or whatever, we want protein. Going to be kind of hard to have them in a space station or whatever. So how are we going to do this? And so Brady and I exchanged some texts back and forth and really had a good time with it.
By the way, can I subtext? This is a far out conversation.
Yeah, and so he said, well, other things, and I said, well, what about fencing? And it's like, oh my gosh, we really have a challenge now about fencing. If we're going to put cattle on the moon, how will we fence them? And then I said, well, maybe we should put goats. And here's what Brady sent to us. The only thing you'd have if you had a goat on the moon is it would be chewing up. It'd stand on everything and chew up anything it could. So
gravity. Yeah.
So that's Brady Huck's illustration for protein on the moon.
And thanks to AI, we can do pretty much anything. But yeah, that looked like R2-D2.
And that's what happened. The goat chewed through his internet connection, so that's why we lost him. So
he's not really, he was completely AI'd is what we were trying to say. Thank you so much, Tony.